Hi there. I just wanted to share with you all why London School of Digital Business is doing this great people interview series. Well, for the last few years, small and medium businesses have been facing lots of challenges. Individuals have been wondering what's going to happen to their careers because of these emerging trends and technologies, artificial intelligence, VR, AR. What's going to happen? It feels as if the world is changing. And then COVID hit, and there is a lot of depression in the minds of people. So we thought we need to bring in some positivity, bring in some motivation and inspiration. And it's all good to know these stories of, Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos and Bill Gates. But we wanted to talk about the extraordinary stories of the people that you get to see in the ordinary world. They are no way ordinary people. They are great people, but they are the ones you can relate to. Hence, we thought this is something that we want to bring in to increase the chances of success for many, motivate them, give them the insights. And I'm so happy to share that every leader has shared completely unique and different insights because their situations have been different. Somebody was alone, and we know that entrepreneurs are alone at the top and how it feels, and they fought their challenges. Somebody had partnership, business partners, and somebody could not survive the business partnership, so they had to rebuild themselves. Somebody thought, well, I could have done this differently if I was to go back in time. So every insight is so unique. I must thank all the people who shared their journeys, and I'm sure this will help you all succeed in life, increase the chances of your success, as well as reach there faster, and of course, achieve happiness in life. Thank you for listening. Hi, friends. Welcome to this new format of Great People interview series. Well, in this new age of digital and AI and all this chat GPT doing your work and all that, are you thinking, well, what's going to happen to my job? Yes, we are going to touch that area of our life, which is jobs, recruitment, hiring. So probably either, you are looking for a job, or you are in an organization where you're involved in hiring. Today, we have an expert, the real expert who understands this industry, Prince. Well, yes, he is Prince, and his name is also Prince. So welcome, Prince.
Thanks for having me.
Great. So we're going to talk about Prince, but before that, let me give the introduction. He has been hiring exceptional talent across the globe for a good number of years. He is a managing director of Crowite, as well as he's a non-executive director at Digitech Sourcing. Well, again, in the same space, of course. And he's currently working on a second startup in the pre-employment testing space. So, so the entrepreneur in front of you is buzzing with his knowledge. And let me go back to Prince and ask him, well, tell us what's your business and what you provide.
Yeah, sure. So as you said, I'm the managing director of Crowite, and we are a tech recruitment agency on the client side. So we help our clients hire and retain senior sales and software development executives with an emphasis on in Europe, Middle East, and Southeast Asia.
Wow, wow. And so where does this name come from, Crowite?
Well, it actually comes from this. I have this ring on, and it's got a white raven on it. And we all know ravens are black, right? But in Greek mythology, ravens used to be white, and they were cursed to be black by the Greek god Apollo. And the meaning for me behind this was not to judge a book by its cover. So when we were coming up with the name, I was staring at the ring and I was just thinking, okay, white raven, no, white crow, crow white, and then that's kind of how it came, and we really liked it and we stuck with it.
Okay, well, awesome. So, you have been hiring talent across various levels for long enough. It would be great if you can share your expert opinion, your views on how this recruitment industry is, growing in this new space of digital and AI and machine learning and all that thing. So we would like to know more about the future of recruitment, how you see it. It will help, the audience in understanding. Maybe they are looking for a job and they need to understand how they will be hired in future. At the same time, those who are from the corporate background, they would like to know, how the hiring method is going to change in future. So, 8 to 10 minutes, I would let you express these views, and I'm going to go off.
Sure.
Over to you, Prince.
Great, yeah, thanks for that. And I think this is a really interesting topic because there are so many ways I think recruitment can go in the future, but there are three that I think have the, some of the greatest potential. And the first one being AI, which you already mentioned. AI is having a real moment this year. And I think it's in terms of recruitment, it's going to provide, a whole host of benefits. One of them being doing most of the grunt work. So a lot of time is spent by hiring managers and recruiters, sieving through CVs, applications, databases, and social media platforms like LinkedIn, whereas AI could do that almost instantaneously. And that would leave time for the recruiters and the hiring managers to focus on rooting out these intangibles, these soft skills like leadership, creativity, being intuitive. Because after all, these are, I think the most important things when it comes to hiring somebody, cultural fit, that kind of stuff. And then the second benefit of AI, I think, will be in customer experience or candidate experience, sorry. And that could come in the form of AI chatbots on your website. So let's say I would log onto your website and say to the chatbot, hi, I'd like to know about the update of my application. And then the chatbot will reply, what's your application number? You tell the chatbot, it would then tap into the applicant tracking system, which it would be integrated with, and then tell you whereabouts in the process that you are. If you have not been selected, it would let you know, thank you for being part of the process, and let you know which areas you can improve on. And the reason behind this is because I think around 50% of applicants say they never hear back from the company they applied to. So we want to, greatly eliminate this number as much as possible. So I think that could be one way of doing that. A second thing that I think will impact recruitment in the future will be blockchain technology in relation to things like security, for example. 3 out of 4 recruiters will tell you, myself included, that we've, come across inconsistencies and sometimes just blatant lies on candidate CVs. And with the rise of AI, as we just mentioned, it's going to be difficult for hiring managers and recruiters to take certificates and diplomas at face value. So I think it'd be great if we could have some sort of secure access to pre-authenticated candidate information. That would really help curb that. And then tied into that will be, things like the use of smart contracts to deal with issues of invoicing and payments. So smart contracts are built on a blockchain, and they are self-executing programs that execute actions based on, preset agreements. So, for example, if I worked on a role with you, Sachin, where we agreed 20% commission on the base salary paid 7 days after the contract is signed. When the candidate is placed, contract signed, the smart contract would take that And then 7 days from then at 12:01 a.m., the smart contract would then release the funds directly to the recruiter or agency. So that would really stop all those issues around that. And then the last one, which is more of an interesting take, because it's actually kind of similar to what you guys do at London School of Digital Business, where recruiters will be able to turn their network of contacts into a community. Right. So in this community, you would have access to things like educational materials, networking events, keynote speakers, that kind of stuff. But you would also have a section for hiring where members can paste open vacancies as well as post their availabilities for new opportunities as well. So you're always targeting the kind of people you want to be targeting. So let's say it's UK sales people within telecoms in London. So that niche, so you're only targeting those kind of people. So it's a bit like passive recruitment, I guess we can call it. So yeah, so these are just some of my interesting takes on the future of recruitment.
Well, yeah, that was pretty precise in what you wanted to express. So do you see, with the evolving technology, the hiring process is going to be very different in, say 3 years from now?
So 3 years from now, I think it will relatively be the same. But what I think will be different will be an increased emphasis on these soft skills. Because I think we're getting to a point, especially when you're dealing with senior candidates, we're getting to a point where they all have, the degrees if they need it, the years of experience, the skills, that's all there. You can see that. But what you cannot see is the intangibles, the company culture side of things, which is really, really important, because that is a huge factor with bad hires within companies. So I think that will be really emphasized in the future. And I think automation, again, this is relating to AI, but I think this is probably the first step before we get to using AI fully, but would be use of automation in order to speed up the process generally and reduce the time to hire. So those are the ones that are imminent for the recruitment industry.
So I think, in the past as well as today, we see that on one hand, there are companies who can't find people, and they're always looking for the right kind of candidates. So sometimes they settle for the not so right candidates, and they'll say, well, that's the best that I have. But is that what you wanted? The answer is no, but I don't have access to the wider pool, and they're limited with the access to the pool that they have, which is a smaller pool. On the other hand, there are people who are looking for jobs, and they can't find, so they are settled in a job which is the best they could find, but again, they're not really reaching the ultimate goals and targets. So I'm not talking about technology necessarily or the future. I'm just saying this has been the problem, all along.
Absolutely.
As a recruiter, what do you think, could be a way to, solve these problems for both? Because actually they're both looking for each other. There has to be somebody who,
match them up. Yeah, of course. And I think this is where, going back to the thing I was talking about communities, this is where that could come in and really be really beneficial, because if you're involved in the community within your sector, within your niche, then you're just in contact with so many people across that industry, making it easier to make connections and to find new potential roles. And referring again to passive recruitment, because it's so important to be keeping in touch with potential candidates and people in your industry when you're not hiring. So right now, it would be a good time, I think, for any company who have been, maybe letting people go or not hiring because they're scared of the economy or whatever it may be, to actually start making connections with people in their industry. Sometimes, okay, you may not be able to do that yourself. And that's where recruitment agency comes in, because that is our job, is to, have these network of contacts that we can call upon, and then also have industry knowledge to find these people when they're outside of our immediate network. And then on the side of the candidates, I think it's a tricky one, but with the rise of remote working, as we talked about earlier, it's going to make the possibilities endless in terms of finding roles. Maybe the right role for you may not be in your region, so you may have to look maybe further north or south or wherever you may be in your country, or even look outside of your country to find the right role for you. And I think that exposes people to new lessons, new experiences, new cultures, and I think that's really great.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that kind of gives a good insight into the subject now. I think just moving on from there, would like to understand more about you and your business from our perspective. I think one of the key things for people to understand is, as you rightly said, keeping in touch. We're not necessarily hiding. It's an effort that one has to put in to ensure that when you want to hire, you have the right things in place. So that's a very nice perspective, I must say. You just gave it away in the flow, but I'm just repeating because it is so crucial to get those kind of moves started. So having worked with lots of these customers, what do you think has helped attract new customers for you?
I'd say most recently, what's been working really well is networking. And by networking, I mean, in-person networking events, online networking groups, being a part of those, attending online speed networking sessions have all been useful for me, not only to attract potential clients, but to build relationships. Because the point of networking is not, okay, you go to a networking session and you get a client from it. No, it's to build relationships. So when the person goes away and they get approached, oh, I'm trying to recruit, they will go, oh, I know someone, a really great person that can help you with that. So that's what the networking aspect is about. The second thing that's been really helpful is being consultative in your approach. So some people can come across as a bit transactional. But you want to be consultative, you want to find out their pain points, what issues they're facing, to see if you can be able to help them, because they may be looking to hire, they may need help, but for some reason it may not be the right fit for your recruitment company. So you need to really understand that. And then the last thing is word of mouth. So providing good customer experience, which will lead to referrals down the line. And this is one that's worked really well for us. As I mentioned to you at the beginning, so we actually landed our first clients, or first retained clients, through word of mouth, and they've actually referred us to another client who's retaining us just to start this year. So that one has been extremely invaluable for us.
Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Well, when you're getting referrals to word of mouth, it definitely reflects the quality of work you do. So
absolutely. That's probably my favorite way of working, because I feel like there aren't a lot of restrictions or barriers, rather, because they know, okay, I trust this person and they clearly trust this recruiter. So it kind of makes the transition much smoother.
Yeah. So again, running any kind of business doesn't come easy. So
no.
I'm sure you had lots of challenges, but what was your biggest challenge and how did you overcome it?
Yeah, my biggest challenge was definitely running a business while learning how to run a business. So I came into this, I knew how to recruit, I knew how to find a candidate, that wasn't a problem, but didn't know how to do anything else. And I overcame this by Firstly, reading books. So not just reading, but learning in general. So reading about, how to run a company, how to own a consultancy, how to, recruit. And for those recruiters that will watch this video, definitely check out The Rich Recruiter by Andrew Long. So I think you can get it on Amazon. Really, really insightful for people at any level of recruitment. I think it's a good book to have. The second thing was to, find people who you could learn from and learn from their mistakes, and that will, get you ahead, quicker. Essentially, this one was probably the most difficult to implement because I didn't have any colleagues. I didn't have anybody I could call upon immediately. I was, coming to this blind, so I had to go out there and actively find people who were willing to mentor me or give me advice at, at any point I needed. And that was very, very invaluable. And I'd say the last thing is to, just be confident, back yourself, because if you're, second guessing yourself, you're 100% going to fail. But if you're confident in your abilities, then if things go wrong, you overcome them, you learn from them, and you move on. And I think this is best embodied by the Einstein quote, which is learn from yesterday, live for today, hope for tomorrow. And that's exactly how I live my life and run my business.
Wow, that was insightful. I think that's very useful, the way you explain. I'm sure, it's going to be useful for many to understand, because everybody is facing, these challenges at some stage anyway. And well, thanks for mentioning the book as well. I think, that's one of the definitely must-read books.
Yeah, definitely.
Now going into a little bit of, conclusion part of our interview today. What's your vision? And if you have defined, the purpose of your life?
I think the purpose of any, person, adult, is to, provide for their family. But on top of that, I want to make a long-lasting impact that will be, around once I'm gone. I think for me, it's just as simple as that.
Wow. Okay. And lastly, to our audience, what would be your advice if, they are either students, management students, or entrepreneurs?
So, okay, yeah, people who are potentially looking to start their own business, is that along those lines?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think the first thing I'd say, going back to the points again that I touched on, is that knowledge is power. So keep learning, keep trying to improve yourself as much as possible. Sometimes it'll be difficult, things get in the way, but you got to keep going. And then that leads on to the second advice, which would be to back yourself again, because it's much easier to be confident in yourself than go against yourself. Third thing will be look after yourself. So being an entrepreneur is a lonely road. So look after your mental health and your physical health, because it's extremely important to have, sharpen your tools. And lastly, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. So don't be scared to bring people in to help you grow your business, especially in areas that you're not really skilled at, because you can't be good at everything. And that's one that I learned, over the last year or so, because I always felt like, I wanted to have an eye on every single thing that was being done in the business. I didn't want people messing it up. I just didn't want to let go. But once you do, you can actually see the value that other people can bring into the business. And most importantly, be patient. It takes time. Everybody has their own, path in life, their own road. Mine came from no experience in running a business and little experience in recruitment to the place I am now. Where someone, may come from a senior position, senior recruiter within a large firm, branch out, and they could, start bringing clients in almost immediately, but that's their own path. So be patient and good things will come.
Oh, excellent. I think, audience has got lots of things to work on. lots of inspiration throughout this interview,
I hope so.
and good insights in hiring. And I think, it is so important to understand the hiring the right people for the right job, and not only looking at the skills and the technical skills, or should we say the operational skills. We also have to see the non-tangible skills that are required for a person to
Absolutely.
become the right fit for the organization. So obviously there are lots of things. If we start talking about hiring, we can just probably go on for hours, how to get to the right hiring. But what I would say, well, is at every step of the way, we have to see, are we applying to the right position, to the right company? This is for somebody who is looking for jobs, and those who are hiring, look for, the other skills other than the technical and operational skills, whether the candidate is matching, your culture, and your aspirations, and are they aligned with your vision?
That's the key word.
Because if the organization and the candidates who become employees, so if they're not aligned to the same vision, no business can be successful.
Absolutely.
So it is great to see, Prince, you making such a great progress in your career. You have been the best teacher for yourself, and how you have been handling different phases of your journey has been really inspirational. So thank you so much for your time and sharing all these insights. I'm sure, one of your purpose is to make an impact. You have already started making an impact through, this interview.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I just want to say as well that I really appreciate the opportunity to be on this platform. I think what you guys are doing is really great. Giving entrepreneurs the opportunity to share their stories and insights and lessons and failures, and then people can take those and accelerate their careers by learning from the mistakes of others. So really, really good work, and I'm in support, and keep up the good work.
Thank you so much. And hey, audience, we will be coming back with another theme with newer entrepreneurs. Well, not necessarily all the Prince, but probably very similar. But obviously, they will come with a different story, a different line of thoughts. So come back again. See you soon.